lesson, we're going to be covering the most fundamental principle that you need to understand in order to see long-term weight loss success. And that principle is calories. We're going to be talking about calories in, calories out, creating that caloric deficit that you need in order to see the results that you want. By the end of this video, you are going to have a more in-depth understanding of what calories are and how you can and should manipulate them to see progress on the scale week after week. So first and foremost, what are calories? We all know that every food we eat contains a certain amount of calories. And what calories are, it's basically a unit of energy measurement. And what that energy is a calorie is how much energy that food can produce to fuel your body's processes. So we need calories, we need food to survive. It's the gasoline for our body that keeps us functioning, okay? Now, the challenge is our body only needs a certain amount of energy in order to produce the daily functions. If we eat over that, our body has this crazy unique mechanism for storing this energy to be used later on, and I'm sure you guessed it, that is body fat. Body fat's main purpose is as an energy reserve. And so the extra calories that we eat, regardless of what foods it comes from, is going to be converted into body fat and stored for later use. So the secret to weight loss is forcing our bodies to tap into these energy reserves and burn that extra body fat for energy, and thus seeing it be eliminated. Now, in order to tap into those reserves, we have to be consuming and or outputting an energy that's greater than the demand our body currently requires, or rather, more than the number of calories we're currently consuming. All right, so there's a number of different ways that we can create this needed calorie deficit in order to see this weight loss. We can either exercise more than we would normally to burn extra calories and thus increasing the demand for energy. We can consume less calories than our body needs, okay? And that way our body, just through natural processes, will burn more calories or require more calories than our body is getting, thus allowing us to tap into those reserves. Or the third method is we can do a combination of both of these, exercise and diet. And so that is going to be the best strategy for us because it doesn't require as much intensity on our part in either end. So think of it this way: if we did the exercise only strategy, if we ate a snack of 500 calories, we would then need to burn this 500 calories through exercise. To give you an idea of what that would require, if we did this every single day, it would require you to take an hour-long high-intensity interval training class, such as an Orange Theory class, or run 4 to 5 miles throughout the day, okay, in order to burn that one 500 calorie snack. Now, how easily could you eat a 500 calorie snack? Like, for example, a brownie. A delicious, chocolatey, gooey, high sugar brownie could easily be 500 or more calories, and you could probably consume that in anywhere from 90 to 120 seconds before that brownie's gone. Okay, so 120 seconds, 2 minutes to consume 500 calories, but it requires 60 minutes at least of intense, uncomfortable physical exercise in order to burn away that 500 calories. So as you could probably see, this exercise only strategy is going to be really challenging to do successfully because it's going to require an inordinate amount of daily physical exercise compared to our eating habits throughout the day. The diet only strategy is a little bit better than the exercise only because the effort required to consume less food is more equal to the effort needed to consume those calories. So if we were going to eat 500 less calories every single day, we could easily create the same deficit and see the same results as burning an extra 500 calories a day through physical exercise. So for a lot of people, they find this is a better strategy and this is a more advantageous strategy for long-term results because we could ideally follow this caloric deficit, 500 calories every single day without too much issue. Whereas doing intense physical exercise every single day is not only time consuming, but also doesn't allow your body to get enough proper recovery. With the diet-only strategy, the downside is some people will feel hungry throughout the day, and this can ultimately lead them to falling short of their goal and thus not seeing the progress they want. Because they're hungrier than usual, they give in, they eat more than they were anticipating or planning, and thus they don't see the weight loss that they want. Now, the third and best strategy for creating this caloric deficit is going to be a combination of diet and exercise. If we can do them both, then you can reduce the overall intensity of both methods to make it more manageable for you to follow every single day. Now, if you can imagine, if we need to be in a caloric deficit to lose weight, if we're doing it for exercise only, we're gonna have to burn 500 calories extra a day to see about a pound of weight loss across the span of 1 week. Now, if we are doing the diet only, we would consume 500 calories less every single day. A little bit easier to do to see that noticeable progress. Now, with the diet and exercise combined strategy, you now only have to worry about burning 250 calories a day from exercise. And that could either be daily 250 calories through exercise or 500 calories every other day if you wanted to opt into some of those intense exercises. 500 calories every other day, but still on average 250 calories a day. And then 250 calories a day of eating a little less, which cutting it in half makes that strategy a little bit easier. You don't have to worry so much about those hunger levels because the deficit is not so great. So if we can burn a little bit more through exercise, eat a little bit less, but still manageable in both realms, then now you stand the greatest chance of seeing long-term successful weight loss and completely transforming your body. So calories are super, super important. Now, I want to make one thing abundantly clear. Calories are calories. It doesn't really matter where the food comes from that you're eating to get said calories. Now, in terms of how it reacts in your body, 500 calories of pasta is the same as 500 calories of spinach. The differences lie in the quantities that you'll get and also how your body feels. If you eat 500 calories of spinach, quantity-wise, that's gonna be an astronomical amount of food. So you're likely gonna be less hungry and you're gonna feel more full just because the physical quantity of food is so much greater. Additionally, if your calories are coming from food sources that are highly processed or generally high in sugar, in other words, junk food, then you'll also notice that you don't have as much energy, you feel more lethargic, you generally don't feel as great when you're eating those highly processed foods. So while calories are calories and they're the same no matter where they come from, because again, it's just a unit of energy, then the foods we choose are going to ultimately determine how we feel, and that can prove important for whether or not we can follow through with the plan day after day for extended periods of time. Okay, so that's an important thing. Calories are all equal, but the foods that contain those calories are not always equal in how they make you feel. Remember, 1 pound of fat contains 3,500 calories. So theoretically, to lose a pound of body fat, we have to burn an additional 3,500 calories, which over the span of 7 days in the week, that's about a 500 calorie deficit a day, partially from exercise, partially from diet. Now, very, very important that we know how many calories we need in order to see this deficit. All of our bodies have a maintenance level where if we eat that number of calories, we will not gain weight and we will not lose weight. So the first step is in figuring out what that maintenance number is. And that's gonna lead me into today's challenge. Day 1 of the Fat Loss Fire Up Challenge is going to be to figure out your calorie goal. And to make this super, super easy for you, because there's a number of mathematical equations and things that require you to plug in numbers and do math. I don't blame you if you're not a math fan, because I'm not either. So I'm going to take care of all of this for you. At the bottom of this video, there is going to be a link. And at the end of this video, I'm going to ask you to click that link. It's going to take you to the webpage, which is going to help you figure out your calorie goal. From that number that you get in the calculator, I'm going to ask you then, depending on how aggressive you want to be with your weight loss, to reduce anywhere from 250 to 500 calories from that number, and this is going to be your new daily calorie goal. Okay. At the bottom of that webpage, there will be a link if you would like to set up a food log, like in MyFitnessPal or elsewhere. That link is going to help you set this up so that you can start tracking your eating and start tracking your calorie intake to make sure that you're meeting this new calorie goal to see the results that you want. But calories are the most important thing. In later lessons, we're going to get a little bit more in depth about nutrients and how to get them and where to look for them and what they're going to do for your body. But in this video lesson, you've learned what calories are, how best to approach creating the calorie deficit you need in order to see weight loss, and then how you can begin figuring out what this number is and also begin tracking it so that you can stay on top of all of your goals.